Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. Make sure you like and subscribe. We have a new channel reaction today. Payment processors are now censoring Steam games. Let's get into it.
Where your credit card company decides what games you can buy on Steam. That unthinkable future just arrived. Valve, known for its hands-off approach, has added a new rule that would
So the crazy thing is, like, I just did my own video about this, just kind of like a short and sweet video, kind of like him. Um, so yeah, I'm I get why Steam had to do this. Because Steam really doesn't have the option here as a payment processor and one of only two who have colluded in the past. Because yeah, you can kind of consider PayPal, but PayPal is just going to fall in line because they're a bunch of spineless bastards anyway. Um, but Visa and MasterCard have in court been found to have colluded together and found guilty in a class action lawsuit for said collusion in the past, and it's a scary world to see that they've just been doing this on their own without any government oversight or supervision. This is like the biggest Trump L that I could fucking see. A Biden L, Obama L. Like they've been doing this shit for years. Like all the former presidents are responsible for this. Like your job is to be aware of these things. Um, and listen to the people. And people have been ranting and raving about it, but now you've gone after the most popular and most used platform for um gaming and any millennial, Gen Z, or fucking even Gen Xers, boomers, fucking whatever you want to call them. Everybody uses this platform for gaming. Everyone, everyone, and you have now put your boot on their throat and said, "Hey, you're going to do this and you're not going to have a choice otherwise." The amount of backlash that they're going to get for this is like the first wrong step to many wrong steps to Visa and MasterCard no longer existing.
change PC gaming forever, not by law, but by the powers of payment processors like Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah.
Starting today, Valve updated its what you shouldn't publish on
So content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers, that's also fucking crazy. In particular, certain kinds of adult only content. So, um, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Did you go to work for me for the past fucking 50 hours? No. Did you put that money in my wallet? No. I put that money in my wallet. I'm the one who suffered. I'm the one who fucking went and did my fucking job and did it well and got paid for doing it. If I want to come home and spend it on a bunch of slop adult only games and that's my thing, then who the fuck are you? Moralless, corrupt pieces of shit to try to tell me what I can and cannot do with my own fucking money. Honestly, who the fuck are you? Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, whatever other payment processes are out there. Fuck you. Fuck you. You have no moral ground to stand on. Your company reputation isn't at risk because you have no reputation, except for a bad one because you continue to overreach and put your fucking metaphorical fucking thumb on everybody's goddamn business.
Steam section to include content that may violate the rules set forth by Steam's payment processors and
That's
related
crazy.
card networks.
Now, granted, this is not, don't go after Steam for this. They have to do this. Steam cannot, unless they made their own payment processor, they cannot do anything in regards to telling them no. All right. Their only option, because they got to make money. If they say no, they no longer make money and nobody gets access to Steam games anymore. Obviously, that's not a win for anybody. So they pretty much have to do what Facebook did. For example, during the Biden administration, they actively engaged in censorship and pushing a very strong like you're gonna do this or you're fucked type of mentality to all these social media platforms. Um, and Zuckerberg came out openly after the administration had changed over and said, "Hey, this is what they were doing. This is what they were forcing us to do. There's nothing that we could do about it." Because at the end of the day, you have to listen to the government. Government has the guns. They have the people. They have the abilities and resources to blink you out of existence if they wanted to. So you have to listen, regardless of that, right? This is a situation where you have to jump above the payment processors. You have to go straight to the government, and the government has to come back to the payment processor and say, hey, these are your new terms of service, your new rules. You are no longer allowed to be involved at this degree in anyone or anything's life anymore on an international fucking scale because it's pretty much what they have to do. Japan has already launched an investigation into this, and so I do know that there is some governmental like oversight being done, being investigated into Japan Visa at least, but everywhere else it's like no, like y'all got to get with the program. You got to hop on. You got to fucking say, hey, Visa, Mastercard, what kind of fucking shady bullshit are you guys doing behind the scenes? We either make that come to light, or you take a few steps back and not overreach anymore.
and banks or internet network providers, in particular, certain kinds of adult only content. This seemingly vague line has already been used, as SteamDB has reported the removal of a bunch
Again, I am okay with them removing this. However, this is a decision that should be up to Steam and Steam alone and not the payment processor. This is a Steam issue. If they want to have talks between the payment processor and Steam and the payment processor just says, "Hey, we'd really like that this is not associated with our payment process system." And Steam could say, "You know what? I agree. It's about time we got rid of this stuff." And they go in there and they get rid of it on their own accord. That's perfect. That's how this should have worked out. That's how this should have been. And then we wouldn't have this problem at all. But because that didn't happen and it was a forced decision onto Steam, because Steam has been notoriously lax in its censorship of its platform, rightfully as it should be, because I do believe that aside from very obvious things that, people that should be banned from the internet as a whole, um, people should have the freedom to buy and sell what they want as long as it's not illegal, right?
of games, mainly the ones with incest themes. While Valve hasn't explicitly named the names of the reason for this happening, unconfirmed reports and industry patterns strongly point to major players like PayPal, Visa, and
I mean, this was the easiest to figure out. I mean, it's Visa, MasterCard for sure. PayPal, maybe. I don't know enough about PayPal, but I know MasterCard and Visa both have a long history of overstepping and trying to take creative control of what they send through and what they don't send through.
MasterCard, the most popular payment methods on Steam. There were even unconfirmed rumors about PayPal's temporary unavailability on Steam pointing to this, but I couldn't find anything that confirmed this
I mean, this could be many things. It could have been a PayPal issue that they had to fix on their end before they could make it available on Steam again. There are things that happen at these payment processors that do need to be fixed. So it's not like it's a guaranteed, oh, PayPal's in on this. But yeah, like I said, I don't really know enough about PayPal to know if this is something that they've actively engaged in before. Um, with more research, I would probably know one way or the other, but um, yeah, I just want to make my stance clear here.
was directly tied to PayPal. One group, Collective Show, a campaign for women, seems to be the ones mainly responsible, having released several articles and open letters
So we're listening to a bunch of fucking Karens.
to these payment processors, making claims about the games on Steam just within the last few.
See, this is what I don't get. These games endorsing men's sexualized abuse and torture of women and girls fly in the face of efforts to address violence against women. We do not see how facilitating payment transactions or and deriving financial benefit from these violent and unethical games is consistent with your corporate values and mission statements. Um, Corporations have no values. They have no mission statements. They're a fucking corporation. You think they have morals and values? No, they don't. They don't give a fuck. They only do what makes them money. So my assumption is that whatever this group is, put enough of was loud enough to make these people change the shit over and start putting their thumb on everybody's fucking neck. So now everybody's going to rise up against these payment processors, and these payment processors are going to end up pulling the rug out from underneath this group of people because the why would you go against the 90%? I just don't, not even 90. Why would you go against the 99%? There might be like 1% of the Steam platform that engages in these stupid fucking violent games, right? These fucking overly sexualized games. But rightfully so. If they want to be a fucking degenerate and do it in their private life, sure. Whatever. Your life. I ain't here to peer on your wall. I'm not here to fucking, like oversee every little thing that you're fucking doing. Like that's not my fucking problem. And I know the corporations don't have fucking values because they were all pushing that LGBTQ plus premium shit until the new administration came in, and then they got rid of all of it. So you fucking tell me. You tell me where those values are because they only gave in to the 1% of people when it was convenient for them, when it made money for them. And now that it doesn't make money for them and people scrutinize it harshly, it now is no longer the center of attention for any of these major companies. Bud Light, perfect example of this, with the Dylan Mulvaney shit. Um, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. Why would you ever put stock in a corporation?
days. So, as these companies took note of this letter and told Valve they were going to leave the platform, Valve was
Also, I have not confirmed whether this is the actual reason that this came about or if this was something that was planned from the start because like I said they have done these things in the past on their own accord without any sort of like group of lobbying people, lobbying Karens that wanted to be offended about shit, making a big fuss over something.
left with adding this rule and giving these payment companies a bunch of power over Steam. This new rule is important because it's not just a small tweak, it's a fundamental change to Steam, as now these payment processors or other companies like internet providers have direct influence on Steam and what games are allowed on the platform. For many, this is a big worry. If payment companies can decide what adult content is allowed, people are asking what stops them from deciding about other things next.
Yep. This is always where it starts. It always starts with like here in the US, a perfect example is they're banning porn in every state of the US. Banning porn. You fucking serious? I'm almost fucking 30 fucking years old. If I want to pull up the hub and whack one off, I'm going to. I'm a fucking adult. Like that is my freedom, my right to enjoy the content that I want to enjoy, right? Same thing with hentai. If I want to fucking pull up a hentai and fucking work one out, fucking I'm going to. You may not like that, but that's life. That's reality. It's my life. It's my private life. What I want to do in my personal private life, that's up to me. Has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with the Karen that lives down the street, it has nothing to do with the politician that fucking has made terrible policies for the past 30 fucking years of their life. Like it has nothing to do with anybody but me. Right? If I want to engage in degenerate content, I want to fucking gamble, I want to fucking um I want to fucking masturbate, I want to fucking do fucking bullshit, I don't know. Those are the only two things that came to mind. If that's what I want to do with my life, then by all means, I have the freedom and the right to do so in my personal private life. I don't want you fucking telling me what I can and cannot do. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. It's one of the biggest L's that the current administration's allowing to happen is the banning of porn. I think it's fucking ridiculous. In a world where people are already lonely as fuck, and for a lot of guys out there, probably some girls too, but a lot of guys out there, their best friend is their left fucking hand or their right fucking hand, and you're taking that away from them too, and you're wondering why the fucking mental illness epidemic is going as crazy as it is. All right, because like people seem to forget that that's also a stress reliever. So can it become a problem? Yes. Is it a problem for a lot of people? No. That's like fucking less than 1% suffer from a chronic issue when it comes to masturbating and that sort of thing. I mean, most people just do it to relieve stress. That's it. And it's like you get that little rush of endorphins from it or whatever the fuck they are, hormones.
This is where we get into a slippery slope, where one small change could lead to much bigger, unwanted changes down the road. Now, it's important to understand that
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, the reason why this is an issue is because right now they're taking the moral high ground here and trying to force this issue on you because it doesn't seem that bad. But the minute that you allow this to happen is when they start taking away other things. So say there's a pair of pants that you like, but it's made in China. Um, let's say Visa has had a falling out with China or MasterCard has had a falling out with China and they don't want to work with China anymore. You now cannot purchase those pants because Visa and MasterCard do not let you. Um, maybe there's a vehicle that you really like, but you have to get it from the from Italy or something. You want to get a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something. Um, let's say what's another example? Pretty much anything that has to do with like let's say there's a certain book you like or TV show you want to watch or something like that. And say Hulu or something had a falling out with Visa. Now you can't access Hulu. You know what I'm saying? It just starts with this. And it ends with total control, boot on the neck. You do what we say and you purchase what we tell you to purchase. That's what it ends. So it's better to just nip this fucking thing in the butt. Like it's like the old saying, like it's better to kill a sleeping beast while it's down. Yeah, because the minute you wake up this beast and you let it fucking run free, it's gonna tear everything the fuck up, and we're all gonna have to deal with it. So let's just not. Let's get rid of it now before it has a chance to fucking bear fangs. All right.
Valve was likely left with very few choices in this situation, as not listening to the payment
Yeah.
processors would have led to them removing their services from the
Oh yeah,
platform,
Valve had
which
no
is
choice
what
here.
many have reported happened already by PayPal shortly before this rule was added. Now, to truly understand how big this change is, we need to look at Steam's past. This isn't about the specific adult games taken down, it's about a complete reversal of Valve's long-standing, hands-off approach to moderation. Before, Steam allowed a lot of games on the platform, as long as it wasn't outright illegal. The main times Valve would take down a game
Right.
were if it had
And this is how it should be, by the way. This is how it should be. They're taking a very large, overreaching stance on a very, very, very large minority of a game. Those games probably make up like 0.005% of Steam profits. But yet they're making all this money is what they're saying to the Visa and fucking MasterCard companies who don't know shit. They just know that they make a lot of money off of Steam. And I don't know. I just don't I just think it's crazy. It's crazy the world that we live in that they have been able to get away with this for so long. It just, I don't know. It upsets me.
some malware inside, broke one of the very few Valve rules, or a specific government requested to get it removed. Valve's
Right.
position with moderation and the relaxed rules led to Steam having a large number of adult games and sometimes other controversial content. This position Valve had brought them a bunch of complaints. In 2018, Steam faced criticism for a hate group problem due to lax enforcement against hate speech. Now, this wasn't a game, but it shows how Valve generally handled moderating across the entire platform. In December 20,
Yeah. See, nobody has like a moderation platform like Steam. Steam is pretty much set up to like self-moderate because like those games are never recommended to me. Those games are probably not recommended to 99% of users because they literally fall under the scrutiny of public opinion because it's pretty much what runs Steam as a platform. Like your best games are going to be the ones that are shown off to you, whereas like these type of games that may have violent, harmful content or kind of sexualized content is not going to be on the main page next to Fortnite being advertised to you.
2022,
I write today regarding extremist content on Steam video game digital distribution service as the most popular, largest digital distribution platform for computer video games, including online community communication features uh, of all ages. Disturbingly, Steam has a significant presence of users. See, this is how they word this shit. This is how they get you. Steam has a significant presence of users displaying and espousing neo Nazi, extremist, racial, supremacist, misogynistic, and other harmful sentiments. Steam has a significant presence. This probably 0.05% of Steam users that are playing these type of games, and somehow those 0.5 or 0.00005% of people are causing you this much grief. No, they're searching for an issue. They're fucking blowing it out of proportion. You know, it'd be one thing if it was like 50% of the fucking platform. That is a significant presence. 50%. Fuck, I would argue 10%. I would argue 10% of significant, that would be significant. I would be like, okay, fuck, a tenth of our users are fucking playing these crazy ass fucking games. Hell no, right? But the fact is that that isn't the case. That isn't the case. They've worded this in a way that makes them look like they are making the correct decision.
US Senator Maggie Hassan even questioned Valve's efforts regarding Nazism, white
If I was Valve, I would release the numbers. I would say, nope, we have like 0.002% of our users playing these games. Fuck off. That's how I would have said it. 100%. And then I would have said, if you remove your payment process, you will be sued. We will do a class action lawsuit against you for an overreach of authority and trying to force an agenda on our platform. That's what I would do. I say, nope, the numbers do not corroborate with your claims. This is false. So I don't know what their legal options are. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but I would be trying to find some way to enter a class action lawsuit against them for overreach, overstepping, fucking trying to force censorship.
supremacy and misogyny on the platform. In late 2024, ADO made a report about how Steam had an extremism and anti Semitism problem, which led to another US Senator, Mark Warner, asking Valve to do something
Of course, it's a fucking Democrat, dude. Find something to do, bro. Like, same thing with the Republicans with the whole fucking porn thing. Like, find something to do. Like, clearly you guys aren't working hard enough if you're worried about porn and adult games on a fucking platform. What the fuck are we doing? Like, Jesus.
or face further scrutiny by the US government. But Valve usually just ignored these complaints and requests for stronger moderation. As long as nothing was outright illegal or broke their existing rules, they generally wouldn't intervene with the content on their platform.
Jesus. I'm
So
dying.
now, payment
Too
processors
sick
are
for this
no
shit.
longer just handling your transactions, they're becoming content gatekeepers with massive power over what can be bought and sold online. The thing is, this isn't
Massive overreach.
just a Steam issue. This is happening all over,
Yep.
showing a clear pattern.
Yep. This is what I talked about in my video as well. Visa Japan CEO says disabling card payment for legal adult content is necessary to protect the brand. Bitch, you have no brand. Nobody thinks about Visa when they're buying anything that's adult related in Japan. Nobody is like, oh yeah, I used my Visa card today. Oh, I used my MasterCard today. I bought porn with my Visa card today. That ain't how it works. It's never been how it's worked. You know, the brand that gets associated with the porn is whatever the platform is that's hosting said thing, right? Same thing, like hentai, fucking whatever the fuck it is you're buying, adult games, fucking gambling on pachinko, gambling on fucking gotcha games or whatever. Like the games are always been associated with the platform that they're hosted on. They've never been associated with Visa. They've never been associated with MasterCard. The only reputation that Visa and MasterCard have is a bad one for colluding and overstepping and overreaching on people's fucking personal and private lives.
We've seen major hits in Japan's anime and manga market. For example, platforms like Soruga
Also, that was a really, really dick move on the anime market, which already doesn't make any money. Anime and manga are like net losses for the Japanese people. So it's like you're already like it's like fucking like poking the bear when he's down. Like, come on, man. Like they're already fucking getting fucked by these production companies taking like 90% of the fucking cut. Now you're going to tax them even more or make it even harder for them to put out content that may be successful. It's crazy.
and Manga Library Z were forced to remove adult content or even shut down because payment processors demanded it. Another Japanese platform, DL Site, even tried to fight back, temporarily blocking Visa and MasterCard to keep its adult content available. Just this year, payment processors in Japan started holding back money
If I was an up and coming payment processor or I was thinking of making a payment processor, what I would do right now is I would set it up and immediately take advantage of the market. I would become the main processor for Steam. I would reach out to Japanese Parliament and I would say, "Hey, I want to be your new payment processor." And instantly, we'd already be making insane fucking money. Oh, insane money. Oh, it'd be insane. It'd be so good. I would start working with different platforms that I would pull like a UFC route, you know, a Dana White. Like you either do it our way or you just don't. You're just not going to be involved with the UFC. That's how I would do it. That's how I would do it. I'm like, yep, you know, like I'm the new payment processor. This is how we're going to run our company here. Nobody's going to change it ever. And this is how, this is how we're going to run things. And if you're with it, hop on the fucking bandwagon. Let's ride this pony out. You know what I'm saying?
from adult game creators on Steam. This was such a big deal that it led to an official investigation by the Japanese government into these payment companies and their
Big W.
practices. It's not just Japan either. OnlyFans in 2021 famously announced that they would ban all sexual content because of pressure from their payment processors, until they reversed the decision. Patreon too has faced similar issues in the past. So, as we're
Facts.
seeing with Steam's new rule, this isn't just Valve's problem. It's a widespread issue showing how these powerful payment companies like Visa and MasterCard are deciding what gets sold and what doesn't.
Like I said, I want to reiterate, like it only starts with this stuff, adult content. It only starts with this. It doesn't end with this. It doesn't end with this at all. Eventually, you'll be forced to only buy certain things. You'll be forced to only spend so much money every month. Like the amount of control that they will exert if you allow them this little egg, this little fucking branch, if you will. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile from you, and you will get fucked in the end.
across the internet. The
That's all corporations. Do not ever relent. Do not ever give them the benefit of the doubt. You beat them down over and over. Because if you don't, they will take full advantage of you.
thing is, now we're seeing this first step. If payment processors can now influence certain kinds of adult only content, the real question is, where does it stop? This is the big
Yep.
concern for many people. If these powerful companies can block one type of content today, what prevents them from moving on to other
Yep. Because they're just gonna find another reason to block something else. That's literally what it comes down to. It's like, yeah, they only blocked porn today, but tomorrow they're gonna say, "Oh, we don't like the thing that the Democrats have been pushing lately, so we're gonna block any sort of payment process for anything Democrat related." Like when they get to exert their own influence over politics, over world decisions, due to the fact that they can simply shut off your payment system, that's a big fucking problem.
types tomorrow? Could it be games that talk about different political topics? What about games that tell stories some people might find controversial or challenging? Could they even push for changes on games that don't fit certain beliefs, even if they're perfectly legal? The door is now wide open. Before, Steam decided, but with Valve's new rule, these payment processing companies and others like internet providers now have a huge say for what's allowed on Steam. This means they could in the future decide what games you buy, not based on laws, but on their rules. This is a
Facts.
big deal because it takes away control from Valve and gives it to these companies whose main job isn't about
Yep, if you're Valve, you're bringing this to the government floor and you're saying, "Hey, we got a problem."
games or art, but about money and transaction. Now, I've already seen a few different suggestions from different Steam users, including exploring different payment options, like maybe
Right.
crypto, or even the possibility of Valve developing its own payment system.
Which would be genius. Like if they went to the government floor and they got it overturned and put in their favor and then they still made their own payment processor, fucking genius.
Think of a Valve Pay to get around these restrictions entirely. Valve's new rule, which is directly influenced by powerful payment processors, card companies, banks, and internet providers, marks a big moment for the platform. What do you think Valve should do? Should payment processors have
I think that's the answer. I think you get it overturned on a government level and you force the government into action and say, "Hey, this is clearly an act of censorship and overreach, and we as the government will not stand for this." And you have them essentially put the reins on these companies. Make sure you go to Water CS2's channel. Give him a sub, give him a like. This is a fantastic fucking video. Spread this around, man. Everybody needs to hear about this. I need every major YouTuber talking about this. It's fucking insane. The shit that they're trying to get away with nowadays. And they're trying to do it because you're distracted with all this Epstein shit. You're distracted with all the fucking government shit going on right now. Um, but you know, these companies are gonna pull this shit because the veil is over your fucking face right now and you're not seeing shit. So rip that fucking veil off and keep an eye on what's going on around here. And shout out to my dog back there in the background. She's just laying on the couch, fucking getting ready to take a nap. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm sick as fuck. So fuck you. Goodbye.